Yeah.
Starting. So today we'll see how to create a object and how to create a fields inside the object. So prior to
Okay.
that, you need to remember the terminology. Okay.
Okay.
So the terminology is, so in other languages or in non-technical terms, so we'll be having database. So coming to the Salesforce terminology, database is nothing but object. Database is nothing but object. And the next, coming to the next, inside the database, we'll be having database columns, right? So if you consider some database like employee database, we'll be having columns like employee name, employee salary, employee experience, like that we'll be having columns. So those columns are said as fields. In the Salesforce,
Okay.
those terms are said as fields. So with a combination of fields and yeah, so it is complete database. In a database, we'll be having a database name, and on that we'll be having some columns. So for this database table, we'll be having some observations. Observations means data. So, so let's suppose you and me are working in the same organization. Our employees' data will be present in our company. Like that, observations are nothing but means observations are nothing but records.
Okay.
Real-time data is nothing but records. We need to remember this stuff. Okay. So the next, in coming to the Salesforce, we'll be having by default with the software will be get standard database tables. Or so now I won't use database table term. I'll use object.
Okay.
Okay, standard objects. So coming to the Salesforce, we'll be having two types of objects. One is a standard object. Standard object means whatever the object will get with the Salesforce itself. Whenever you install Salesforce application, whatever the objects you'll get, those are standard objects. Okay. In the standard object, if you want to create any custom field, so initially remember, standard means the thing which will get with the Salesforce. Custom means based on requirement, if we create something that is a custom one.
Okay.
Okay. So now with the Salesforce, will be get standard objects. Along with the standard objects, will be get standard fields as well. Okay, so whenever you want to navigate to Salesforce, the object manager or data, like a object means database table, right? So if you want to create or customize any standard any object in a Salesforce, not only standard object, we need to go to object manager. Once you go to object manager, here you can see object name and its API name and type. Label means wherever you see this object, it will be looks like this name. With this name, it will be appear. Whereas coming to API name, if you want to reference this object in some custom code or in Apex flows, sorry, in visual flows, wherever you want to reference this Apex class, we need to use this API names. Okay. So coming to most of the standard objects, label and API name are the same. Okay. So now you can see account is the object and it is a standard object. Type also you can see. If you create any custom object, a name will be come up like custom. For this description, if you want to keep any, you can keep. The standard object is they did not kept it. Last modified. If someone modified this database table, any field, if they create any field in this database table, it will be recorded here. Deployed. If you deploy it, it will be recorded as true or false. Okay. Similarly, these all are the standard objects which are available with the Salesforce. Now, what I'll do is initially I'll go to account object. So remember what we did? We went to object manager. Here we can see all the objects which are available in a Salesforce. Now, if you want to open any object, you can click on that object name. Let's suppose I am clicking on object name. Whenever you click on object name, you can see basic details of the object. As it is a standard objects, we won't be able to edit the basic details. See here, we are not getting any pencil icons or any edit symbols. Means we can't be able to change API name or label of a standard object. Remember, okay?
Yeah.
We can't be able to change name or description or anything corresponding to standard object. Whereas, so coming to the standard objects, we'll be having few standard fields. Okay, we'll be having standard fields as well. So whenever you create an object, with that if you get some field, those are standard fields. You can see field name and its API name. So here you can observe name, account name. It's a text field. Okay, but both are not same if you observe, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you can see most of the times those are same, but few times it won't be same. So another thing you can observe here is you can see active, and
Yeah.
here you can see active underscore C. So underscore C means it is a custom field. If we create some field, that will be come up with a name active underscore C. So now what I'll do is I'll duplicate this tab. Now,
You are duplicating it like right click and open in the new tab, right?
yes, that's what I did at this time. Okay, so now what I'll do is from app launcher, as we can navigate to any app, right? If you want to navigate to any object also, you can navigate. If that object have a tab, it will take us into this tab. In the search, we can search a tab also. I'll explain you what is tab in today's session and tomorrow's session mostly. Okay, so by default, recently viewed accounts it is showing. I'm opening some record. So I'm going to details page. If you see this details page, whatever the object fields available here, those fields will be available to you in this page as well. Okay, same fields, whatever the fields you are having there, those fields will be available here. Okay, now what I'll do is in this, I'll add one additional field. I'll see how we can add that field and how it will impact the complete thing. We'll see that. Okay. Now, whenever you want to create any custom field in any object, either it might be a standard object or custom object, initially you need to go to Object Manager. After going to the Object Manager, in the Object Manager, you'll be having option like fields and relationships.
Yeah.
Click on that. After clicking on that, you'll be having new option. Delete fields means if you want to delete some field, you can go with field dependencies means if you want to establish relationship between two different fields. So let's suppose if you consider any real-time application, we'll be having country and state fields. So let's suppose if you choose India, we need to display all India states. If you choose US, we need to display only US states, states which are present in US. Like that, if you want to control one field based on another field, we need to go with the field dependencies. Clear?
Yeah. Cool. So
I'll show
delete
you.
fields is only for the custom fields, right? A custom field
Ha.
which we create,
Yes.
not for
Custom
the
fields.
standard field.
Yes.
Yeah.
Field dependencies means I'll explain you this feature as well. History tracking also
Yeah.
I'll explain you. Now,
Mm.
instantly we'll walk through this new option. So I want to create a new field in this table, in this object. So for that, I clicked on new field. So now here you can see like whenever you want to create a field, it will give you a different data types. It means you can understand if you want to create any field in any database table in a Salesforce, you can be able to create these many types of fields. So you can create auto number. Auto number means it's a number field. By default, it will be come up. So for each and every field, you will be get a brief description beside that. Formula
Okay.
field. Formula field means if you want to fetch the data in this field based on other fields.
Yeah, like we saw in alias, right? In account creation, alias
Yes,
field.
like that only. Yeah. So, like that, if you want to populate the data based on other fields, like if you want to perform some calculation on other fields, and if you want to fetch the data into account, you can go with the formula field.
Yeah.
So, roll up summary field, which will be available if you have master detail relationship between two objects. We'll come back to that in a relationship fields. So the next lookup field, external lookup, checkbox, currency, and date time, email, geolocation, number, percentage, phone, pick list, multi-select pick list, text. These are the different types of fields which are available in a Salesforce. Okay, now I am going to create text field. Let's assume. Okay, so now what I'll do is I'm clicking on next. So once you select the data type, it will take you into the label and everything, every details it will ask. So I'll keep the field name like test description. Let's suppose I am keeping name like this. Length, I'll keep 255 characters length, let us assume. And here you can see API name by default it is coming. So if you give label and API name by default come up. While giving a label, if you use spaces, that spaces will be replaced with underscores. Remember.
Okay.
Description for this field, if you want to keep any description, you can keep it. And help text. So someone needs to see what is the impact of this field and which type of data we need to enter for this field. You can set up a help text. If you set up a help text, beside that field, you'll see this information icon. If you keep cursor on this information icon, it will display the help text which you write here.
Yeah, if we hover over that, it will be getting displayed, right?
Yes. In a object database table, in a record page, if you keep a cursor on this, it will display the text which
Yeah.
you keep, not keeping that text. Similarly, here you can see required option. If you tick this option, what happens is, so whenever you want to create a record, this field will become a mandatory field. Means without giving data to this field, you won't be able to save the record.
Okay. You mean like it's a mandatory field?
It's a mandatory field. Mandatory field or nothing, but a required field.
Yeah.
The next, if you want to avoid duplicate values for that field, you can make it as a unique field.
One doubt, Yakub. So for making it mandatory, right?
Ah,
There will be some kind of differentiation with the normal field and the mandatory field, right? So will that will be getting displayed while opening this field?
it will appear with a star symbol.
Okay, asterisk. Okay.
Ah, so that you'll understand
Okay.
it is a mandatory field. And
Yeah, yeah.
if you make this field as a required field, after making this field as a required field, now if you want to save the previously existed records also, if you want to edit the previously existed record also, it won't allow. So in the previous records, we are not having the field test description. But now, if I do like this, like if I want to edit this record, and if I click on save, by creating that required field, it won't allow. It will ask us to enter the data for that field.
Okay.
Understood? Ah, so that thing you need to remember. The next unique means, so if you want to maintain that field value unique across entire Salesforce environment, means into your system, you can make it as unique. So if you make it unique means duplicates won't be allowed. So let's suppose what happens is for description, for one object, I kept ABC. Next time also, if I keep ABC, it will throw a duplicate error. So already some record is exists with the same field data. Like that, it will give an error. If you want to set up a system like that, you need to click on this duplicate. And coming to the duplicates also, you'll be having two options. One is case insensitive, case sensitive. Case sensitive means though there is a small case or uppercase things present, it will consider those two are different one. So ABC and ABC are different values in a case sensitive. And coming to the case insensitive, ABC and ABC are the same values. Understood this difference?
Yeah. One is like case sensitive, it will allow, and it is like case insensitive means anything if we enter, it will treat as same.
Yes. So small or capital, it will read as same.
Yeah.
So these are the things you need to remember. So by clicking on unique, so for this, if you want to populate any default value based on some formula, you can create a default value. So let's suppose if you have an account, in an account will be having description field. If you want to populate same description field data here, you can do that. By click on show formula editor, we can write a formula for that and we can display that. Okay, let's suppose what I'll do is, so it's opened the formula editor, right? In this, it is
Okay.
asking to select a field. Now, I'll go to, so I'll go to system. In this, we'll be having several fields. Origin date. So what are the different fields available in each and everything? We'll see. So
Okay.
organization, like whatever the field value you want to populate, you can select that thing. R means entire Salesforce application. So let's suppose name of the organization I want to populate. By default, I want to keep. Means by default, it will fetch the company name.
Okay.
So whatever the company name we kept while creating a account, that value come up as a by default value in this field. I am not making it as a required field. Okay, I'm not making it as a unique field as well. Now I'm clicking on next. So whenever you click on next, whatever the field it might be, it will take you into the next page. And it will show you the option like for which profile this field needs to be available. So in a real time, we'll be having, in an organization, we'll be having different types of people. Let's suppose, as you said, you are previously working on healthcare project. I'll take healthcare project example only. Let's suppose in
Yeah.
a healthcare domain, we'll be having HCPs, HCOs, medical reps, sales representatives. These are the
Yeah.
basic people. So let's suppose whatever the field you are creating, it should be available for medical representatives only. It should not be available for sales representatives. So for that, we need to set up a visibility. So in that organization, what will be there is for sales people, different profile will be there. For medical people, different profile will be there. What you can do is coming to the visibility. So you can select, you can tick. So what you can do is if you click on this thing, select and unselect this, all the tick boxes will be deselected. And here you need to select for which
What
profiles
kind
you
of?
want, which profile you want to provide access for this field.
Okay.
You can select that so that
So
you
as
can,
this is our development edition, these were the profiles for that particular
ah,
sales for.
yes, by default, we are having this profile so that we can able to see this. Whereas if it is a some organization account, whatever the profile they created, custom profile also we can able to see here.
Okay.
Based on that custom profile, you can select a visibility so that they can able to see.
Yeah.
Read only means few profiles of, so let's suppose sales people can able to edit the record, medical people won't just can able to see the record. If you want to set up that requirement for medical reps, you can keep read only visibility. So if you keep read only means it will visible, right?
Yeah.
So read only and visible means they can edit and they can do anything. So whereas sorry, read only means they can read the field only. They can only read the field. They won't be able to edit. Whereas visible
Yeah.
means initially they can able to see and they can edit as well based on permission which you provide.
So we can select only read only as well, right? For that kind of roles. Only read
So
only.
read only means they would just be able to read the data. They won't be able to edit.
But Okay, okay. But if you
So,
select that read only, it's automatically selecting the visible also. They can
visible
edit
means,
that case.
so if no, if they want to see the data, they can be able to visible, right? That field should be visible to them, right?
Okay, okay.
So additionally, we are restricting here by keeping read only.
Okay, okay.
So
So if you
whoever
won't keep that read only, it will be, they can edit
they
that
can
also.
no, if we give read only, they can see that field and they can only read the data. Whereas if you
Yeah,
make
yeah.
it visible, they can read and they can perform editing operations as well. Why
Yeah,
means they
yeah.
are not having
Clearly.
read only restriction.
Okay, okay. Got it.
Huh. So these things you need to remember. It's a very, very important thing. So coming to our trailhead or anyway, if you go, they won't explain about the security concerns. Whereas coming to the real-time organization, we should be very cautious about the security concerns while creating some field. It
Yeah.
means
We'll be
for
having the requirement, right? Like what users have.
yes, yes.
Uh,
So if they won't provide, you need to ask. So
yeah,
for
yeah.
which profiles I need to give access for this profile, you need to ask like that. Once taking
Okay.
input from them, you can proceed. So I made this field as visible for system admins.
Okay.
The next, in the last step, it will ask option like on which page layouts I need to add it. So page layout means, so in a companies will be having separate requirement. Means medical representative needs to see a different fields on the top. Sales representative should needs to view a different fields on the top. HCP wants to see the so he needs a few different fields as an important fields. Okay, it means for different types of peoples, we need to have different look and feel. Isn't it? Understood?
Okay.
So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so
Based on
let's
the role, the field should be displayed.
based on the profile, we need to change this view. For
Mm.
medical, I want to display it is like a different fields, and for sales people, I need to display different information on the top of the page. If you want to control look and feel for different profiles differently, we need to go with the page layouts. We need to go
Oh,
with the page layouts. So at the last, while creating a field, it is asking like by default on which page layouts I should add this field. On which page layout? Let's suppose we'll be having sales representatives and medical representatives. So if this field is helpful to only sales users, you can add it to only sales users. If it is
okay.
useful for the sales people, you can add to sales layout only. Okay.
Yeah,
So as of now, I'm clicking all so that this field will be available for all the profiles. Means all the page layouts. Understood?
yeah, yeah.
Now I'm clicking on save. So we created some field, test description field we created. You can see that field here. So it is a search icon. From here we can search. So it is the field name we kept and test description. So you can see at the end of the field, it is giving underscore underscore C.
So it's a custom field.
Ha. Data type is text 255.
Yeah, 25 characters we get.
Ha. So the next controlling field means like it is not a dependent field. That's why we are not having any controlling field. Okay.
Yeah,
So now I'll go to page layout and I'll see we added this field to all the page layouts, right? So we can see
yeah,
here. I'm refreshing this page. By default, it will be added to the page layout. Okay. Why means we added it to all page layouts. So if you go to details page, test description,